All right, so our gates are prime, or gate, not gate, one gate. That's enough right now. Our gate's primed, both sides, and I also went ahead and painted the Charleston green across where the straps are gonna go. That way I can just slide the straps on there, and I don't have to try to brush around them, and the white of the primer doesn't show through around the edges, and it gives it a nice clean look. So I have all that. And now we're gonna, I think we're ready to put the straps on. All right, here's one strap laid out. It's all painted. You can see, so that piece goes in between, and then this is one on the outside of one, on the outside of one. You see the bolt holes all drilled up, welded up, painted. It's actually been so humid. I painted these, I finished the final paint 2 days ago. It's been so humid, they're actually a little bit sticky. So we're gonna be real careful when we put this together and probably not manhandle it a whole lot and get black streaks all over. And then rub the paint off and make it worse. So we'll just see how it goes. All right, so the straps are on, just dry fitted. And you can see, there they are. Got that one, and I haven't decided. I thought I would go back through here. These are, you know, 2 layers of 1x6s, and I would come in from the side. Maybe you can see from here, coming at an angle on that side face, and then drill down into the next one down and help tie it all together. I don't know. I may do that on the center, but on the tops, I can come in once I cut this radius around. I think I can come in from the top with a 3-inch screw at an angle, diagonal, and then drill from one board at an angle down into the next one below it, and vice versa, and lock it in. And then I can do the same thing on the bottom. Come in from the bottom and go up like this, and then down, and then up, and then down, and then tie that in together. And I think that's probably good. There's just not that as much space as I had envisioned in my mind of places in between where I could tie it down together. So I think we'll probably go ahead and put the bolts in these straps and then tighten it down. All right, let's see how this all fits. I have to raise it up a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and put all the bolts in. Yeah, let me get this raised up. I'll be right back. So the age-old debate among woodworkers is how short is too short to keep the scrap when you left over and finish the job. You know, so it's tough for me to go over there and throw away a bunch of 2x4s that are a foot long, 18 inches. So I just stack them up, because you never know, we're going to be jacking up a car and going to need some extra pieces to slide in and above that concrete block. Now I can get my hand under there, see, and get to those nuts. All right, all the bolts are in now. Got both of these tightened down. It did pull all these, all the individual pieces of wood together pretty tight. I obviously mismeasured the length of my bolts, So I knew it was going to have a little bit of excess, but I didn't realize I was cutting off almost 3/4 of an inch. But anyway, it is still on the threads. It did pull tight, so I'll go trim all those off, and then I'll just come back probably later, run painter's tape down both sides, and just respray this whole thing, get these bolt heads covered all real good. Some of the areas around where the impact drill ran the bolt head down, scraped off a little bit. I just used drill, or the impact drill. I just bought this thing, new batteries are charged, and when I put under load, it'll pause like that. And of course I'm pulling the trigger right now, but it's brand new. I don't understand if I think it's brushless. Yeah, it's brushless. I don't know. It's just junk. I think you spend good money on something and it would work more than about 4 months. Alright, now we're ready to draw our arch for our top back on. I found my nail hole in the center, and maybe another piece of string, tie the pencil to it. And so now I'm just going to draw this arch, get that set up, and then I'm going to draw my circle in the peephole, the big peephole circle, and I think I'm going to drill these boards together before I cut the circle out. I'm going to use that area and drill it together so to keep these boards tight, and then I can drill a circle out after I cut off the radius on the top. Once I cut the radius, I can drill through at an angle like I talked about earlier, and that'll keep everything from this bracket, this hinge brace up tight together. Then I can cut the circle out, and then I'll put the screws in the bottom, and we gotta cut a window frame to go in this peephole, porthole, whatever you want to call it, and then I think it'll be ready for final paint. Okay, I got my radius drawn on there, all the way around, a circle in the center, and now we're gonna drill a hole, be able to drop the jigsaw in, and then cut these out. All right, got that one. I'll finish this off with sander, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so you see I screwed together, you can see the screws, the pieces on the outside just to hold it tight. I've got some screws inside the inner circle still to hold this tight while I'm cutting, because there's nothing really tying these the outer layers of the boards together on the top past this upper hinge strap. And so I cut this out. I'll come back in. Actually, I'll probably come in now and put some screws through and hold this top together. So I got this, I pre-drilled at an angle, and then I don't have a countersink, so I use a bigger drill bit, countersink that, and we're going to try and see what happens. This is a 3.5 inch screw. Hopefully I got it at a good enough angle where it doesn't come out the other side. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. Let's just do it right here. Okay. And I'll sink these in deep enough when I run by with the sander it won't catch the head. Alright, I think that's going to work pretty good. Nothing out the other side. Let's see. Pulled it tight. We'll keep going around.